Hi, Mom. Yeah, no, can you pick up Chris after school? Yeah, I'm at the doctor's.
Mrs. Harris?
Describe your symptoms.
Hang on. Stress, headaches, nausea. Yeah, well, I work on Saturdays.
And how long has this been?
Equanimity. Balance your lifestyle.
Hello, how are you guys?
Doing great.
Good.
Great, you're live on the Boundary BP Show. Who do I have in the studio with me?
Brian Mandel. I'm a rheumatologist from the Cleveland Clinic.
And Anthony Adams, I'm just decorated dust.
But looking good.
I know, you're a football legend, they tell me. I want to thank you guys for joining me here in Dallas, Texas. I want to let my audience know that I have the football legend, Anthony Adams, and Dr. Mandel, and they're going to be talking about something that's really important. They're going to be talking about gout and uric acid, and they're going to educate us so we can be more aware. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you, Dr. Mandel, if you'll set the medical platform for my audience.
Sure. So gout, most people think of as sudden painful attacks of arthritis, red hot swollen knee, foot, ankle. But what it really is a chronic condition of having too much uric acid in the body. Now, uric acid is a chemical that we all have, but some of us have higher levels in our blood than others. It can come because our kidneys don't get rid of it efficiently, because we eat too much in terms of red meat and shellfish, because we ingest too much fructose or corn syrup, or a little too much in the way of beer, and then our body makes too much uric acid. But when we have too much uric acid in our bloodstream, it settles out in the joints, and you can actually picture that like forming icing on a cake just around the joints, and that icing can break down, and you get crystals, and you get these sudden, incredibly painful attacks of the gouty arthritis.
Can I ask you one more question? You said forms around the joints. Is this when people complain of severe pain and they can't walk?
Well, in between the attacks, initially, you may feel fine, but it's just when the icing breaks down and those crystals break loose that you get incredibly painful sudden attacks. Over many, many years, if you don't de-ice those joints, if you will, if you don't lower the uric acid, then you can get such a buildup of the uric acid in the joints that you wind up with just chronically deformed joints that then are really stiff and painful all of the time.
Okay, I'll come back to you because I'd like to hear just a little bit more medical. But I'd like to talk with Anthony Adams. Anthony, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm fine. You're a big, great football legend.
I agree.
What do you know about? You're great. You should. I was reading your record. You're good. Anyway, what do you know about gout in relationship to being this big football player? Because people are not going to associate the two.
I know the pain of it. I know the pain. And in 2005, I was unable to get out of my bed. I couldn't put any pressure on my knee. It was very sensitive to the touch. And if you can picture a hammer coming down on your knee, that's what it felt like. And fast forward to 2009, that's when I got diagnosed. I went into Chicago Bears training facility, and the trainers told me I probably had gout. And I didn't believe it because, you know, I work out all the time. I run, I lift weights, I play in these games. I'm this awesome football player that you said that I am. And I have gout. Like, I don't believe it. So we went to a rheumatologist, and they took my blood work, and sure enough, I got diagnosed with gout. And so I started to educate myself. I went to websites such as gouteducation.org, and I got all this information on how to lower my uric acid levels. And, you know, I've just been educating myself ever since.
Where are you now with the gout? Now that you've educated yourself, you've dealt with the problem, have you found relief?
Yes, I'm good. I've had it in my elbows one time before. now I can dance, I can do all these different moves now and everything, and I feel good. I'm doing a campaign called Go for 6, and it's encouraging people to go to their physician every 6 months to check on their uric acid level, and if your uric acid level is under 6 milligrams per deciliter, then you're good. So 8.3 million people are affected with this disease, so it's becoming very popular, and it's a lot of information for people to go get.
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Dr. Mandel, he said something real important. How would you tell your primary physician, I think I have the gout and I want to test? What would you say?
Well, if you're a patient, you got to talk to your doctor. You describe that you've had these episodes that, maybe the first time you woke up with it, you thought when you couldn't put your foot on the floor without pain, and maybe you stepped off the curb wrong, something happened, it goes away, but then it happens again, and then it happens again. Well, you got to relate that to your physician. Don't just assume that you know exactly what happened. And I think once the possibility of gout arises, the diagnosis can be made, and you can get treatment, because the treatment is, in part, exactly as Anthony said. Live a good lifestyle, a healthy, common sense lifestyle, but probably you're going to need medication as well. So you're going to need to have that discussion with your doctor and ongoing interactions.
I want to thank you guys both so much for being so clear and so defined with what this is. And this is the first time I've heard an actual explanation of it. So I want to thank you guys for being my guest today, Dr. Brian Mandel and Anthony Adams, the great football player, for being on the Valder Beebe Show.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.